Welcome to
Hi
another
guys, welcome back to our
video
channel.
Okay,
Welcome back. I don't want to do the intro, you do the intro.
I am doing the introduction because Diana is not a good team player, and so yeah, we're going to throw around those words, those terms, because we're talking about jobs and the workspace. Yeah.
Start us off. Start again.
Welcome, welcome, karibu na karibu tena kwenye hii Kiswahili si mdomo changu.
Hi guys.
I passed chemistry more than Swahili, so that
Wow.
should tell you something. Yes.
Wow, okay.
And I didn't pass chemistry much, so that should tell.
That should also tell us something. Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. We are back. Tumeresurrect.
Tumeshoot video mbili.
Tumeresurrect
on the same day. Hence,
mukiona nguo ni the same.
just go with the flow.
Just listen to the content. Correct.
And be content.
Today what are we talking about?
We are talking about workspaces and jobs in Nairobi. Just the work environment in Nairobi.
In other words, we are talking about the ghetto.
Me, I can't say that. I would like to retain my employment.
You plead the fifth.
I played the fifth.
Okay, so we're going to do it in a series of questions. First question. How many jobs have you had? Count for us to Kiskia. So that we know.
I had a job as a receptionist stroke secretary for a school. I was in a band. I was in a theater group. I was a producer's PA. I had a business.
Hey, Assis has been doing the most.
Yeah, I still have a business actually. I worked as an intern writer for an online campus website. I worked for another campus website. And then now I'm a communications practitioner.
9.
Is it 9 or 8?
Okay, 8 plus the current 9.
Yeah, 9. Oh,
hey,
that's a lot.
In how many years?
Since I was 17.
How many jobs I've had? 1 as a receptionist, 2 at KRI, 3 as a project manager or in project management, 4 in project management, 5 in project management, 6 owning a business. Oh, and I owned a business at some point when I was still working as a receptionist, and then now a business. 7. Yeah.
Wow. So
I've had 7 jobs.
Yeah, so we had to start there so that
7.
Someone doesn't look at this video and go like, na sasa watu tusichana na
Tuko na experience gani?
What do they know?
We
have
know.
been working. We have been grinding, partially because I think I was doing part-time classes or evening classes, so I had a lot of in campus, that is. So I had a lot of time during the day to actually work. So don't be a full-time student up and laugh your
like, hey. Same thing with me. Yeah, when I was a receptionist, I was still in campus. Career was still in campus. The business was still in campus, and that's because it was part-time. So we had a lot of time during the day that we put into good use. Yeah. Which was your most fun job? Tell us what it was, what you were doing.
I had 2. I can't pick between 2, but that has to be being in a band, which was fun until it wasn't, because it was
in
fun.
other words, she's trying to say that she used to sing.
Yeah,
Sis can sing.
Yeah, it was fun
Sis can sing
until it didn't really make financial sense, or just everyone started like chasing different things in life. And then the second one for me was theater. It was so fun. It was the hours were not demanding. The pay was almost non-existent, but it was really fun, and I think it really built my character. So those ones were the most fun. There were no pressure, the pressure was there, but it
was a very chill.
It was an issue of confidence, stage fright, not
the things that KPIs, you have to deal with right now.
KPIs, not KPIs, not donors, not money. Like that time the pressure was very minimal. So
my most fun job was being a receptionist at a music school.
That was one of my least fun jobs.
I think it's also same thing. The space was very okay, it was formal because, you know, you're handling money and people, but it was just the most fun place I could. Anytime I look back, I'm just like,
Take me back.
I miss, to a point I am still friends with those people, because I was just like, you people for life, man.
I'm still friends with some of those people.
Which was your least fun job?
I have a couple.
It's job.
I'm going to say jobs. Number
Which
one
was your least fun job?
was the school where I worked as a receptionist stroke secretary stroke exam typer stroke typewriter. That's the thing. I used to use a typewriter. How many of you in your big age can
know
say,
even what it looks like?
Yeah, I used to type exams for people using a typewriter, guys. Okay, yani, if you make a mistake, the situation is that you have to start all over again. Okay?
Yes,
And then that guy didn't pay me. Like he started bringing issues, and then eventually he didn't. He was supposed to pay me, I think, 1,000 bob per week. Or was it 6,000? I don't even remember. He didn't pay me, so I quit. Another least favorite job for me was... we'll come to that. Just continue with the questions.
Which was my least fun job?
Be honest, be honest, be honest, be honest.
No, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it in terms of, was it the job or the space? Because if it is the job, I don't have.
I see both. Or the space. You want us to get into semantics?
So we're talking about generally the space.
Generally the space and the job. Because isn't the space a big part of the job though?
No, but the job is the duties. So you didn't particularly like whatever you were doing.
I didn't like the duties at that place, and I did not like the place. I did not like the environment. I don't like nothing.
I think maybe then it would be my previous workplace. That would definitely be my least fun job.
Hot one. Do you want to delve into?
Have you ever been fired?
Yes. I have been fired. I've been let go. I have been told you are therefore released. Can I tell myself now?
Even if you tell yourself, I don't think anyone would willingly admit that they were on the wrong if they were really on the wrong.
No, if I was really on the wrong, I think I would say it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would own up. But okay, I did something wrong.
No.
However, it came from what that person was doing, which for me was massive.
Do you want to give us the details? Because
yes,
I can't give
I want to give the details.
So
I was working for a particular person. I had just left another job. So I went to work for this person, and it was a startup. So alikuwa shajeleza akasema, oh, you know, it's a startup, so I can't pay you that much, nini. But me, I was not about to work for free either way. Me, I don't believe in working for free to begin with.
True that.
So I worked there for a while. One, it's a startup. So the first, in my opinion, this person was making some awkward financial decisions. But you know, it's my boss, so I couldn't tell them. So alikuwa anatulipia lunch ya almost 200.
Alafu awalipi salary.
Alafu anachelewa kulipa salo, ama analipa the first month, alafu the next month inakuwa. Yeah, so I remember it was this time for 2017 elections. He told us, because of the election, you go back and then I'll call you guys back. So when he called us guys back, first of all, this guy had not paid us by the time he was releasing us. Okay, so kuna iyo deni ya iyo time. And then you enter the office, there's a new TV. Okay, I couldn't tell whether it was new, but you know, but it's a TV. There's a TV, there's like a coffee station. Like, there are additions in the office that cost money. That even cost
money
more than you should be paid. So maybe I was being petty, but I was looking around and I'm like...
So you confronted?
I didn't confront. Wait, see, hizi vitu zenye umebai ungetulipa. Like, because you actually owe us money, you've called us back, you're calling us back, you're trying to convince us and then telling us ati, you know, this business of mine, we're going to work together. No, you are the business person.
But
I am an employee. We are not working together. We are not.
This is your dream?
It's your dream. If you want to employ people, please make sure that you can pay them. If you can't pay them, let them go and let them know that you can't pay them. So, this is another lesson from the workspace that you guys, your workmates are not your friends. So be very careful with what it is that you say. So I made that mistake. So I started venting to one of them. Na yeye ndio alikuwa na tuseme nika alikuwa na cheo because we were not in different she was not my boss, but we were in different departments and hers was more prominent. So I told her,
vile tunatreatiwa si fair.
Does it make sense how there are two additions in the office and us guys have first I asked her if she's been paid and she hadn't been paid. So I was like, for me it doesn't make sense how
there are two additions,
there are improvements. We are leveling up, but we are not paying the employees. And I'm like, I have responsibilities. There are things that I need to take care of. Does this make sense to you? So she was like, silently, silent killer. She was just like, no, it doesn't. Ghafla binvu. Ghafla binvu. Paukwa pakawa. Back bandua.
Akatokea jambo.
I was called by the big man himself at the restaurant.
Big man Bazu.
But the big man himself pale kwa hiyo restaurant penye alikuwa anatununulia lunch na alikuwa amewacha at this point because the company is broke. I think another thing I didn't like about this place was like I was really going out of my duties also, and then I'm not getting paid, you know. And then you're buying a new TV or you have a new TV or whatever will your quota, you know. It just for me it didn't make sense.
Ukaitwa kwa restaurant?
Nikaitwa kwa restaurant, akaniambia okay, so now I've decided because I can't afford to pay you nini, so I'll just and you know, now he brought that point of some of this vitu zingine, it's not good to talk a certain way about them. So I was like, so are you releasing me because you can't afford me, or are you releasing me because I voiced to someone who then voiced to you that I don't appreciate the way things are happening? Akaanza hadi kusema ati hiyo TV sijui ilikuwa kwa nyumba yake, akaitoa kwa nyumba akaileta kwa ofisi. So he started justifying it, and I'm like, I feel like this is someone trying to guilt me for voicing a concern. Now because someone decided to snitch, he's decided to fire me and give me my money. And I was like, you know what? I'm totally fine with being fired and being given my dues, because vile tunaendelea, I would have been using fare, coming to your place to work. You don't pay me, but you're buying things for the office, which for me doesn't, things that are not necessary.
Yeah.
I mean, that office was, to begin with, not in a bad way. It was so small. And then you are...
Leave. Question number 5.
No.
Before you start Mulikai.
Have you said... No, have you ever been fired?
I have been fired. I'm not ready to discuss how that went about.
But story for another video?
It is very sensitive.
Story for another video?
Story for...
Maybe not, yeah?
I don't even know how this one might go. Maybe because...
Was it your fault?
Maybe because... No.
Did you do something wrong?
No.
Okay.
Maybe because... What I didn't like about the whole being fired story was them not upholding the end of... of the contract. They didn't follow the procedures the right way that they should have done it.
Okay.
You know, uliamkiwa tu alafu ukaambiwa...
Read. I think that's another thing about jobs. Read your contracts.
If I knew now what I know then, maybe I would have.
Maybe you would have read your contract, or maybe you would have sued, yeah.
Because you'd still get the money.
The Kenyan workspace is...
If you don't uphold
it's the absolute get out.
Like, it's very interesting how, if you want to resign, they'll tell you, which brings us to the next question. Have you ever resigned? Before that, you need to tell them in advance. But then when they decide to fire you, they just wake up and they're like, oi.
Actually, a lot of not a lot, but some contracts I've interacted with say that the employer can terminate your employment whenever. Yes. So whenever. Please stay there knowing you can be released at any moment.
Have you ever resigned?
Yes.
And why?
why I resigned. I had what I would consider an abusive, not employer, supervisor. So I was working somewhere. I was an intern somewhere. Then I left. Then they called me back because they were looking for a writer. So me nikaenda, I needed a job anyway. So I went. They were not paying the best, but I needed the money. Na anyway, nilikubali. You know, if someone tells you this is how much I'm paying you and you accept, that's on you, you know. So the supervisor that I had before was not there. She was on maternity leave, and she was good. Like hakuwa na issues, provided you do whatever you're supposed to do, you'll be fine. Were there boundaries? Yes, nini, but yani she was okay in everything. Like we had an okay relationship. Now, the supervisor I got, first of all, my two supervisors, like now my supervisor and her supervisor were not around. So nikapata mtu tofauti. And she is the one who called me back, I think on recommendation. I didn't understand like how she got to, but anyway, on recommendation, she was told, hey, maybe you can try Olivia. So nikapigiwa, mi nikarudi. It was okay for the first like weeks, months, until now it gets to a point someone tells you, Ati, the Wi-Fi is not working. Could you figure out, or could you check? I'm not an IT person, Mark you. I'm a writer. Mimi na Wi-Fi, how?
So she was telling you to check?
She was telling me to check. No, you can restart it. In fact, someone else had restarted it. So she was telling me to figure out how it's going to be fixed. Like, it would be stuff like that. One, I'm not an admin person. Two, my rank in that office does not dictate a situation where I can
give your opinions,
give directives, make moves. You know, I'm there to write. So ilianza hivyo kunipea tu kazi twenye sifai kufanya, and then it's like it was a marketing company. Like now you're told to come up with something for marketing that you have no idea about, and it's something major, so if it falls through you'll be in trouble. So one, I was like, I'm extending the things that I'm supposed to be doing, which is not bad because it can give you growth as an employee. You can grow. But it's not being done from a point of, I want you to grow. It's being done from a point of, wacha tuone kenye utafanya. Or, I don't really feel like doing this, so wacha huyo I handle. So there was a time I got agitated and I hit back. So she asked me via email to figure out the Wi-Fi situation. And I told her, with all due respect, that's not within my job description. And I told her that. And then she told me something like, hopefully next time you can respond without attitude. Ama kitu kama hiyo. And I was like, respect. I actually said that with all due respect. Because that office or that company had an IT person. That's the person who should have handled that situation, not me. First of all, hata sinanga hata
ilifanyika lini kiunaongea na emotions mpaka
it had gone. Ilikuwa imeenda mpaka one day I broke down in the office. Like it was bad, and that was the day I knew I had to quit. I was like, hey, doesn't matter where the money is going to come from,
but
doesn't matter what is going to happen, what people are going to think. I can't. It's too much.
It's too much.
Let's not go to describing how that person is, but hey, it was a lot. And I was like, you called me here to write, but now you want me to fix the Wi-Fi. Now you want me to run a whole marketing. Alafu vitu zinahandoliwa na madharau. Have you ever seen a situation, or have you ever been in a situation where someone is telling you to do something and it's like, I know you can't do it, but anyway, just get it done. Or, I'm on this particular level and you're not, but you still need to do the work. Or your time is not valuable, mine is more valuable. Those are the vibes that she was throwing. And so by the time I was quitting, my original supervisor had come back, and for some reason I wasn't shifted under her supervision.
You still remained.
I remained under the supervision of that chick. And for me, that was just like,
what's not happening?
Hey, that day I broke down in the office. I was like, ni kazi inafanya tunalia. Nope.
It's not worth it.
Out.
It's not worth it.
First of all, the tears versus the salary not adding up. Out.
If you live kwenye Range Rover.
Yeah. For you?
Yes, I have resigned. I have resigned before. Why? But me, I don't have a deep story like yours.
Hey, mine was deep, yo.
But I resigned because I had to go seek help.
Oh, okay.
Professional, mental professional help. I needed to be admitted, and for me it didn't make sense to stay there because I didn't know how long I was gonna stay in the facility first.
So where was it that you resigned, Kiari?
2019.
Oh,
The one that I had at Ngong.
oh.
Like in yeah. But let's talk about that one.
Yeah.
The 2019 one. Yes. So yeah, because I had to go seek for help, and it didn't make sense to me because there was the option of nikae hapo. I take an indefinite leave, and then I didn't know when I was gonna get back. I didn't know if I was even gonna be okay in the first place. Nikasema tu, please, kazi zitapatikana. So yes, I resigned from that one.
That's the last question?
No. Which was your most challenging job?
Hey, the one I have now.
Is it the job, the duties, or the job, the space?
The duties. The space is not. I've been in worse spaces, to be honest. Kama hapo penye resign, but no, at hapo penye resign wasn't at a bad space. The people were okay. It was just for an introvert. It was an interesting. Like I was constantly observing people. It's like wow, okay. But for me, it's the job. Like, and it's not challenging in that I can't do it, or I'm not usually able. It's just that you're forced to grow. You can't be in the same place constantly. It's not. I've had more comfortable jobs where really they take what you give them, but now where I am, they don't take what you give them. You give them, then not only do they want more, or even just with time, your role kind of evolves to demanding more, or
without compensation.
No, with compensation, but it's still challenging. Like you have to sit down and you have to think. It also needs a lot of
which is I think is a good thing.
Yeah, I think I've been in jobs where I didn't have to think
you
much.
Worked with ease.
I just worked with ease. I was just cruising. But this one, there are levels to which you really have to think, and it's in the non-profit space. And I think anyone in the non-profit space knows that kuna vile tu, you can't just be sitting there not thinking. You have to think. You have to come up with new ideas, new solutions, new how to do this, how to do that. So for me, siwezi enda like a solid week ama 2 weeks na nimekaa 2 day ama. I think jobs I had that were like that. You could just chill.
I think for me, I'd say 2. The previous 2. The previous one, I'd say.
Sounded intense.
I'd say. I don't understand kama mimi nimeheal enough, but let's just say I also wasn't in the mental space to really deal with that job. So that one had a lot to do with me and not the job. However, the previous one, the one I was working huko Thika Road.
Was it the nature of work that was?
No, it was not the nature of the work. It was the space.
The space was challenging.
That was just so. Drama. It was, first of all,